Tonight, our student showcase is Fleming Island High School soloist and accompanist Ben Norman, choral director. Fleming Island High School. Yes.
Good evening. I'm Ben Norman. I'm the choir director here, and it's a privilege to represent Fleming Island High with the student showcase tonight. A little bit unusual tonight. We have a soloist, and this is Alexander White. He is going to be a sophomore in August, and he had a great year this year. He went to our solo and ensemble competition with a couple of solos as a freshman. He received superior ratings, which is the highest available from his judges. He was qualified then to go to state solo and ensemble, where he once again received superior ratings from his judges. Very, very unusual and difficult to do, especially as a freshman. He had a really great year, and we're so proud of Alexander. He will be singing an Italian piece tonight called Il mio bel fuoco by Benedetto Marcello, and he's accompanied by our accompanist, Mr. Stephen Fennell. Please welcome him.
Il mio bel fuoco, o lontano vicino, che servocio, senza conger mai sempre, per voi care pupille arderà sempre. Quella fiamma che m'accende, quella fiamma che m'accende, piace tanto la mamma mia, piace tanto la mamma mia, che giammai si estinguerà, si estinguerà, si estinguerà. Piace tanto l'alma mia che giammai si estinguerà, si estinguerà, che giammai si estinguerà, si estinguerà, si estinguerà. Il solfato voi mi rendeva ghiro del mio bel sole a traluce là, non voler, giammai potrà, ne voler, giammai potrà, ne voler, giammai potrà, giammai potrà, ne voler, giammai potrà. Quella fiamma che m'accende, piace tanto la mamma mia, piace tanto la mamma mia, che giammai si estinguerà, si estinguerà, si estinguerà. Piace tanto l'alma mia che giammai si estinguerà, si estinguerà, che giammai si estinguerà, si estinguerà, si estinguerà, quella fiamma giammai, giammai si estinguerà.
That was fantastic. We have such talent, and young man, you're going to go far. Oh, and you have good manners too. Our invocation tonight will be led by Reverend Jake Young, the lead pastor at St. Giles Presbyterian Church, and he will also lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor to be here. Let us pray. Almighty God, we thank you for your gifts that you give all of us. We thank you for the gift of service. We thank you for the calling to be of service to the people of Clay County. We thank you for how you confirm that calling by the voters. God, everyone that's gathered here, even all of us that were not voted into office, we thank you for hearts full of love that draw us here to give our level best for the students that are in the Clay County schools. God, we pray you'd be with every family in our county and be with us tonight. May your spirit of inspiration be in our hearts as we make decisions that will affect our future. And remind us always, God, that we're all in this together. May that spirit of unity be with us now, throughout the evening, and always. We pray in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. If you would, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Reverend Young. Sometime I'd like to talk to you and see if we are long-lost cousins. My maiden name's Young. Okay. Clay County School Board meeting, June 6, 2019, will come to order. Welcome, citizens of Clay County. I want to take this opportunity to thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to attend tonight's school board meeting. This meeting is our opportunity as your elected representatives to collaborate openly and make decisions that will decide the future direction of our public schools and the education of our children here in Clay County. If you wish to address the board, there will be an opportunity to speak for 3 minutes. Please fill out a card, which you will be located in the back of the room. Indicate the specific item, number, or topic you wish to speak about, and turn it in promptly. And you may turn it in to Chief Wagner on the side, that tall Chief of Police. No additional cards. I wanted to say handsome, but I thought that wouldn't be proper. No additional cards will be accepted once the board moves to the public comment sections under presentations from the audience. Your participation is welcomed and appreciated. Under recognitions and awards, recognize students with perfect attendance. Superintendent Davis. Okay.
So good evening, and thank you, Ms. Stutter, to the chair. We have some individuals that have really, done a phenomenal job of, dedicating themselves to academics and to understanding that education is one of the greatest priorities within our communities and within our lives. And we have individuals that have perfect attendance, and we'll do 3 phases. The first individual that we will acknowledge this evening is one that has not missed school for the last 7 years. So from kindergarten to 6th grade, this individual has been at school every single day, and we want to recognize them. And that individual is at Fleming Island Elementary School. And that individual, will call your name, please come up. That is Jonathan Walker. I don't know, Jonathan. At the end of the day, there's many days where I wake up and I don't feel well, and I can't say that I've done the same. But congratulations to you, young man, and we hope everybody has the focus energy like you. So there's no chance for you to let your hair down. You come no matter if you're sick, if you don't feel good, if it's raining outside, those kind of days you want to stay home. You continue to come and make it. So congratulations to you. This is another individual that's big acknowledged from the junior high school level that has had perfect attendance as well from kindergarten to 8th grade. So 9 years straight has not missed a day of school. So regardless of, if the car didn't start or if the school bus didn't make the stop, this individual came to school and understood the importance of it. And this individual is at Green Cove Junior High School, and that is Mr. Timothy Walker. Mr. Timothy Walker. Timothy and Jonathan, y'all got the day off today, didn't you? Yeah, last day. You got the next 6-7 weeks off. Don't worry about it. It's on me. We'll count it for next year. Something's going on with the Walker last name. I'm sorry, I'm a Davis. I must have missed a lot of days. So the next one is an individual that we talk about. It's impressive to do 7 and 9 years, but this individual has been acknowledged for multiple tiers through elementary, junior high school, and now in high school for 13 years in a row for going to school, never missing a day. 13 years. Wow. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't even know how to. I should be giving you more than an award tonight. I don't know. Maybe you can sit up there and hang out with me, but may not be fun. Sometimes it is. But this individual is at Middleburg High School, and this is Megan Gibson. Congratulations. Come up here. So as hard as it is, I don't have a portable microphone, but I'd ask you, it's so rewarding. Anything that's special to each of you that makes you, every day stay driven, stay focused, and gives you the energy to make this happen? They're like, what? Whatever, dude. I was just trying to see if one of them would not show up tonight. But they're here. Let's give them a round of applause again. Such an awesome accomplishment. Every single day. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for being trailblazers and dedicated in this work.
You're going to be great employees.
Anybody else want a picture? Come on. That is amazing. I was just thinking, that means they didn't catch a cold, they never ran a fever, they didn't get the mumps, the measles, they didn't get... That's amazing. I'm just amazed. Okay, next is recognize Clay All-Star Athletes of the Month, Mr. Mike Wingate.
Thank you, Superintendent, board members. Good evening. I'm embarrassed to say, Superintendent, I put in leave for tomorrow, so I won't be. I don't know.
He's going to be absent.
Appreciate you approving that and everything else. To continue with our outstanding students, you remember a couple months ago we came and introduced some of our all-star athletes of the month, and I mentioned briefly to you that we started this because it's not just who the best athlete on the field. We were looking for that all-star. This is a student. This is an athlete. Obviously, this is somebody who volunteers. This is somebody who's a leader around school. That's what we mean by all-star athlete of the month. And so this is the second half of the year. You saw them the other night, and I can't tell you which ones are here tonight. We got such a huge crowd, but remember, last day of school was yesterday. They're on their time now, so I don't know who's going to be here tonight. I saw a few of them, but let me introduce these folks real quick. The first young lady, this is for December Athlete of the Month. She is actually... This is J.C. Anker from Orange Park High School. She is at the orientation for University of North Florida with her mother. my wife.
Wow.
And so she can't be here tonight. So I got to make sure I say that or I'll be in trouble when I go home and everything else.
Okay.
The male athlete of the month, Josh Hughes from Keystone. Is Josh here tonight? Okay, Josh's not here. We'll move on to January. Alexis Stillano from Clay High School. All right, I told you we would maybe
School
be
was
concerned.
out.
Grant Stanish. There's Grant from Clay High School. Grant, come on up. Grant, come on up, buddy.
Thank you for being here. We thought we were.
All right, and we get into February. Miss Abby Hawkins, also for Clay High School. Is Abby here? I can tell you Abby is very shy. She does not like to speak. Also, the male athlete, Riley Haynes from Oakleaf High School. Riley is here tonight? Nope, but he's an excellent young man. Going to be a pilot. The March, Jeremiah Jackson from Fleming Island. All right. And Haley Julius from Keystone Heights. I knew this would be a concern. Audrey Milliken from Fleming Island.
You're not betting.
I know, it's just
You're not
been a rough
betting
night.
a lot.
I saw this young man, so we'll give him a big round of applause. From Middleburg High School, Colin Henderson. I can tell you the athletes of the month, we obviously got a lot down here. They represent weightlifting, flag football, baseball, track and field, just so many different sports. It's not like we got one sport that's dominating out there. And we went out and we did a little interview with the students. We wanted to put them in front of the camera just so they get some experience. And I tell you, these are just amazing young people. The stuff they volunteer for and what kind of student they are around school. We're just so proud of all of our all-star athletes. I know you saw them all the other night at the athletic ceremony and everything. So, Superintendent, if we could get a quick picture down where these folks are here.
What? Now, tell me, because I don't remember. There were so many the other night at the fair. But what are the sports for these three?
Call them out real quick. Grant.
Wrestling. I thought so. You do what? And yours? Very good. Okay. Thank y'all and congratulations. He looked like a wrestler. Our next recognition is to recognize Coastal Spine and Pain Scholarship recipients, Kelly Mosley.
Thank you to the school board and Mr. Davis for letting us be here at this meeting. Typically, we're only here for CTE month in February, but we have two very exciting recognitions for this month as well. The first one is we have a great business partner, Coastal Spine and Pain Center, and Ms. Bridget Roberts is here with us tonight. And 2 years ago, we were having lunch, and she said, "I want to give scholarships." I said, "Well, we can spend your money. We know some great kids." And I said, "What kind of kids? Like, what kids do you want to give scholarships to?" And I had given her one of our business partner guides, and she said, "These kids, CTE kids." So last year and this year, they have given $20,000 both years to our career and technical education students. Wonderful. And so I'm going to let her share in just a minute, but their efforts in supporting career and technical education do not stop at the scholarships. They buy animals at the Clay County Fair's livestock auction. There's no telling how much money y'all have spent over the years at the livestock auction supporting our 4-H and FFA members. They serve on advisory boards. They're there for mock job interviews. They serve for FFA officer interviews. And so they are just really a model business partner. And so I'm very grateful for them and their support. So at this time, I'll let Ms. Roberts speak, and then we'll call the students up.
Okay.
Thank you to the school board for having us. I'm Bridget Roberts. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of the company. I'm a Clay County graduate myself. I grew up here. I went to Middleburg High School. Graduated in 2002 and went to college, so it is an honor and a blessing to be back and to be able to give to students from the same place that I'm from and where my family raised me and my brother. So it's awesome to be back here with you guys. We have quite 10 recipients tonight that we would like to give scholarships to. I can tell you, to the parents and families of these students, I was able to sit and do the interviews this year, and they were phenomenal. They are such a joy. You have some really, really great kids, and they were just, their stories were phenomenal. It was really touching day, and it was really awesome to be a part of it. So thank you guys for having us, letting us participate and be a business of choice for you guys. And we're grateful for all that you do for us in the county as well.
All right, I think Alice is going to come up and she's going to help us with a certificate. We have Haley Wadsworth from Middleburg High School, and she was in the business program. We have Juliana Deaton from Orange Park High School, and she was in the business program. Her mother, Rebecca Deaton, is going to accept on her behalf. We have Chandler Russum. He is from Ridgeview High School, and he is in the HVAC program. And I have to give a shout out to Miss Christina Thomas. She's the training director for the apprenticeship program at NEFBA, another one of our great business partners. She's here supporting Chandler tonight because he's going into the NEFBA apprenticeship program, as well as his employer, Miss Belinda from AC Design. So thank you both for being here tonight to support Chandler. We have Brooklyn Hall from Clay High School. She's in the agriculture program. We have Abby Hawkins, who was actually recognized earlier as one of the athletes of the month from Clay High School. She's in the business program. We have Morgan Hernandez from Clay High School in the business program as well. Katie Joy Bowerman, she is at Clay High School, and she's in the business program, but she was not able to be here tonight due to her college orientation as well. Alexandria Bonds, she's in the agriculture program at Oak Leaf High School. And last but certainly not least, Hannah Frivala from Orange Park High School in the health science program. And each of these students will be receiving a $2,000 scholarship from Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Fantastic.
Do you want to come take?
You may have to make 2 rows, or what do you think?
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Destiny Basden. I am so sorry. Destiny. Oh, I am so sorry. Health Science, representing that program. Forgive me, Destiny.
What school is she from?
Orange Park High School.
Very good. Very good.
All right, congratulations to these students, and thank you to Coastal Spine and Pain Center.
Okay. Ms. Mosley, don't go away, because the next recognition is Clay High School Criminal Justice Academy, designated as a model academy by NCAC. You
Yes.
have the floor.
So one of the initiatives that the superintendent charged us with a few years ago as part of his strategic plan was to have nationally recognized model academies. And so we went through a very lengthy process with the National Career Academy Coalition, and Christine Wirt and Linda Garcia led the charge at Clay High School, along with Mr. Dix, to go through the process. They had to send in countless documents. The process was very long, and then they actually sent a team of people in to review us. And so some of you were there for that day whenever they came to do the review. And as we expected, Clay High earned the highest designation, which is the model designation. There are very few 2 schools in the whole country that earn this designation, and we are extremely proud of Clay High for this. Some things that they had to do: they have to have an exceptional advisory board, they have to have cohort scheduling that is very pure, which is hard to do. They have to integrate the criminal justice theme into their academic courses. They have to meet on a weekly basis, and so their entire team does that. And so it's really a team effort from their guidance department, the academic teachers, and the CTE teachers. So we wanted to take this time to recognize them in front of all of you and let them know how much we appreciate their efforts and all their hard work in bringing this national recognition to Clay County. Mr. Davis, are you going to? Okay. So before we call all of them up, Mr. Davis has a few things to say about it.
Through the chair, I would say that, this is a major goal for any pathway, career technical pathway to try to accomplish. And when, sitting down, developing the strategic plan and working with Ms. Paulk and Mrs. Mosley and trying to talk about what we can do to obtain national model status and national model recognition, they built a plan out for a school and many of our schools, but for this particular school at Clay High School through the criminal justice program, and said, we think they can do it. They have dedicated teachers. They're committed to the work. They meet continuously. They cohort students, and they really have rich partnerships, advisory boards, and provide internships and externships for our students, and they do wonderful work. And, with coming in, when they fly into your school district and they go through a really complex, very interesting day-long event of, pretty much, I hate to say this word, interrogating teachers, talking to students, and looking at curriculum and trying to find reasons why they wouldn't highlight them as a national model. And it is purely clear that, and they're laughing because that's all true, it is clear, but they have really signified a golden standard within our school district. And my hats to each of you. This is the higher standard in the nation. I think they get to go in October. Is it Philadelphia? In October, and they get a chance to present to be acknowledged, and get a chance to present about what's working, what's not, and how to develop this model. So my hats to each of you and the leadership of Mr. Dix and his team as well. So thank you for your hard work. Thank you for what you do for children, and I'm proud to say I'm a part of this award based on what you do. So thank you, congratulations. Give them a round of applause. You want to call them up?
So their team members include Principal Carrie Dix, and part of the national standards of practice that they're judged on is they have to have an administrator assigned to their academy, and that administrator is Miss Linda Garcia. They also have to have an academy coordinator, which is Christine Wirt, our college and career coach. They have to have a designated school counselor that's assigned just to the academy, and that's April Centers. And the next group of people are the faculty members: Alan Cole, criminal justice; Daniel Harris, criminal justice; Amy Goff, science; Hunter Hill, history; Tracy Kuhn, science; Morgan Mousley, English; Ashley Smeltzer, English; Becky Swain, science; Melanie Wright, history. And the next group of people are our advisory board members, and they have lots of advisory board members. However, these were the 4 that actually participated in the review whenever the folks from NCAC came. Our chairman, Mr. Drew Stokes; Dr. Jeffrey Lee from the Police Academy with St. John's River State College; And these individuals aren't here tonight. Jen Griner from St. John's River and Ashley Barber from the Clay County Sheriff's Office, but we would still like to recognize them. So please join me in congratulating this group of teachers and faculty that have poured their heart into national recognition for Clay County schools. Thank you. It was easy for them because they're celebrities now. Their pictures are everywhere. Right.
Okay,
Madam Chair, can I say something? Me.
yes.
I would just like to compliment our CTE department. Miss Mosley and Mrs. Polk, they just knock it out of the park.
They do.
They have brought that program, that whole department so far. It just keeps growing in leaps and bounds. And I just want to say I appreciate everything they do. I think they're great.
Amen. You're rock stars. Okay, our next recognition, recognized 2019 West Whidden Scholarship recipients, Angie Whidden.
Thank you. I appreciate you all letting us be here tonight.
You bet.
I was thinking about what Mike was doing earlier, Mr. Wingate, and I know that if we had an athlete of the month back in 2008, Wesley would have had it, wouldn't he, Mike?
Yeah.
He was a great kid. He was full of fire and compassion for others. I'd like to think he got that from his mama. And I can tell you, when you lose your child, you lose part of your soul. Mm-hmm. And you have to build yourself into a different individual because you're never the same again. I always say it's like losing an appendage. It's like losing part of your body, and then you adapt to a different way of life. And you can choose to take one road and be weak, or you can choose to take the other road and be strong. And that's what we've done in memory of Wesley, because that's what Wesley would want us to do. And I can tell you, grief is extremely selfish. So people can say it's so wonderful for us to award these scholarships, but truly, it's a part of our healing. It's a part of the way that we grieve. Since 2008, we've given away 432 Christmas gifts to kids. We give 42 every year. And we fed 22 families Thanksgiving meal, because Thanksgiving was Wesley's favorite holiday. But most importantly, after tonight, we have awarded 78 college scholarships in memory of Wesley.
Oh my.
And that means so much because it means that my child's never forgotten.
That's right.
So I want to recognize those kids tonight. We have 11 this year, which I'm so happy about. Of course, we have a few that are not here, but I want to recognize the ones that have taken time to come out tonight. Put the glasses on. Our first recipient is Hayden Bunn. She's from Fleming Island High School, has a 4.12 GPA. This summer, she's going to Puerto Rico to help those in need with hurricane relief. After high school, she's going to attend Montreat College in North Carolina, where she'll play soccer. So congratulations, Hayden. And I have to add, we have a lot of angel moms, unfortunately, in our community. And I have a group called Angel Moms, and they're people like me. So we help each other out. So what our family decided to do is we pick one female recipient from Fleming Island High School in memory of Gianna Asensio, who passed away in 2015. It just helps that mama out some with her grief as well. This child's extremely deserving. Her name is Regan Chadwell, and she is graduating from Fleming Island High School with a 3.5 GPA. And if you haven't seen her around town, she is a phenomenal photographer and spends her time volunteering, taking sport shots with the different elementary schools and the high school. So congratulations, Regan. And she's going to be attending the University of North Florida and continuing her passion for athletics and photography. She's also a fabulous swimmer. So congratulations. Moving on. It's so quiet in here now. And here's my girl, poor thing. I'm texting her going, where are you? Where are you? She's like, oh my gosh, Ms. Angie. Grown up with her since she was little. This is Ashlyn Cummins. She's a graduate from Fleming Island High School with a 3.5 GPA. See, I didn't fix that GPA on purpose because you're late. It's truthfully higher. She participated in cheer and dance, and she volunteers with the elderly in her community where she does daily tasks for them. And she also volunteers at a local elementary school with children with disabilities. Now she has graduated. She's going to attend Florida Atlantic University. So congratulations, Ashlyn. Emily Cummings is also from Fleming Island High School, and she has, ironically, a 4.2 GPA. Emily participated in basketball, volleyball, and lacrosse, and she volunteers at W.E. Cherry at a program called Girls on the Run. And she also participated in Soul in the City, where they go to different sites and help those in need and spread the word of the Lord. She's been on mission trips with her church and has created a passion of giving back. Emily's going to attend Santa Fe Community College in Gainesville. Congratulations, Emily. Okay, now this is crazy. I see 42 all the time. I don't know if you lost a loved one. 42 was Wesley's number, so I see 42 all the time. So this is kind of, I just had a 4.2er. Now I have Katie James, who's graduating from Clay High School with a 4.42 GPA.
Wow.
Katie participated in volleyball, track and field, and was a state qualifier for weightlifting. She volunteered, she gives back to this life by making a lifelong friend with a local girl diagnosed with neurofibrosis mitosis. After graduation, she's going to Montreat College in North Carolina, where she will pursue a degree in the medical field. So congratulations. Noah McCullum is not with us tonight, but it's for a great reason. It's because he signed yesterday to play baseball with East Georgia College, so he is with them today. So he apologized, but he couldn't be here tonight. But I have to tell you something special about Noah. He befriended a child with special needs, and his name was Shane, and he was at every baseball game and was out there on the field, and Shane would get dressed to go to the baseball games at 7 a.m. in the morning for a game at 7 o'clock that night.
Oh, my goodness.
So we congratulate Noah. We have Brianna Montero from Orange Park High School. Brianna participated in volleyball, softball, and weightlifting, and she's volunteered countless hours at Orange Park Medical Center. She also obtained her CNA license while she was enrolled at the Health Academy there. After graduation, which is already now, she is attending St. John's River State College. So congratulations, Brianna. Unfortunately, we don't have John Abate with us this evening. He graduated from Orange Park High School. I'm sure he was recognized the other week at the sports ceremony. He's an incredible athlete. He also is the president of the Beta Club and volunteers at multiple sports camps around the area. He's going to be attending Spring Hill College in Alabama, where he will be a member of the basketball program. So we'll make sure. We recognized these kids a few weeks back at Clay High School at their spring game. So we're going to move right along, because I know this kid's here because his dad's going on in just a few minutes. Cole Pittman. Cole is graduating from Fleming Island High School with a 3.38 GPA. While attending high school, he participated in baseball and football. Cole has volunteered multiple hours at the Safe Animal Shelter and with Upward Sports, volunteering as a coach for the youth program. After graduation, he's going to attend Tallahassee Community College, and Mr. Pittman would choke me if I didn't mention this, so he's going to transfer to FSU once he obtains his AA degree. Deshaun Washington is graduating from Orange Park High School with a 3.38 GPA. While attending school, Deshaun participated in baseball. He's a member of the Beta Club at Orange Park High School and volunteers countless hours at W. Cherry. He's always there volunteering. He enjoys giving back and having a positive impact on Clay County community. He's going to attend St. John's River State College. Congratulations, Deshaun. And unfortunately, Taya Krim is not with us tonight. She went to Oak Leaf High School and graduated with a 3.73. She participated in golf and weightlifting, soccer, track, and field. And she participated in a group called Knighthood, where they volunteered to help local families in need during the holiday season. She also volunteers at St. Vincent's Medical Center and as an EKG technician. Wow, and she's going to attend Florida State University. So let's give her a round of applause. And I have to add, each one of these children had to write an essay on how they make a difference in this world, because the motto of Wesley Scholarship is, your life is your message to the world, make it count. All these children have made their lives count in the short time that they were here on this earth, and they were going to go on to do great, great things. So they each received a check for $1,042. Of course, the priceless West Whidden t-shirt that they also received, and they'll also be a big part of my heart forever. So congratulations to all of them. Thank you.
Miss, to the chair.
Do you want to get a picture, Miss Whidden, with all of the students? And you want to go down there, Mr. Davis? There's a camera down there. Run.
They're always telling me to go down there. I want to say before you start, Miss Whidden, you always continue to do great things for our community. We're thankful every single day. I mean, this community doesn't know that you go over and beyond. And I think about you all the time, not only through your grief, but what you do to help others who have a similar grief that you experience. So thank you for not only being there for our children in our county, but for children out, for families and parents as well that have some of the same experiences. So thank you for your leadership. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I don't want to crash your party. We'll get it. Nicole will do it. And congrats
Thank you,
to
and
each of you.
congratulations. Okay, we have no presenters tonight. Our school showcase is Fleming Island High School. Tom Pittman, principal. Proud daddy, Tom Pittman.
Let's see here.
We're losing our audience, Mr. Pittman.
I know, so we got to bring that back.
Okay. Okay. Anybody who wants to, just a minute. Anybody who wants to exit, now's your chance. Look at this.
Whidden, you can stay for another 5 minutes.
Okay. They're going to miss a lot. Okay, now.
All right. 10 years ago, I did not need these glasses, but I do now. So, first of all, thank you, school board members and Superintendent Davis, for allowing us to present, this day after school got out with everything. But it's a great opportunity to be able to present and represent our school. And I don't know how that slide got on there, but that's okay. I didn't click it yet. Just an overview of our school. We are about 2,100 kids. You can see our breakdown. We have myself and my leadership team behind me, Mr. Knight, Ms. Burke, Mr. Corella, and Mrs. Finley. Are preparing tomorrow's leaders today. Carpe diem, carpe futurum. Seize the day, seize the future. And as like those kids right here that we were doing, we want the kids to take that opportunity to take that day and be able to, seize the day as you move forward to the future. And so we want to make sure we do that. We have programs and opportunities at Fleming Island High School, academical programs that we have. We have the ACE program, which we have 350 students in. The ViStar Academy has been around, the advanced placement classes, and then dual enrollment. And we'll get back a little bit more into those in a minute. Just released Newsweek rankings. We ranked 72nd in the state of Florida, public high schools. They ranked 17,245 schools across the nation. We were ranked 1,353. It takes into consideration all your grades, AP standings. The one thing I want to note on here, we should be higher. And because the Newsweek rankings don't include ACE, they include the International Baccalaureate Program and AP status, so they don't include all of our ACE classes. Really? So if they took that into consideration, we should move up in the state of Florida and also nationally. So if you become a Golden Eagle, you have an opportunity for academics, over 25 AP courses. We have you can earn 42 college credits right here through St. John's River State College without even leaving this campus. And what that takes is you have to have a teacher or a faculty member that has over 18 plus hours in their master's program or a master's in that program to do that. So we've hired enough teachers to do that. We have over 30 clubs, athletics, and then the career and tech program that left me here already, but they have 7 career pathways to explore industry certifications. Someone slid that slide in there. We do have lots of school spirit here. Yes, hopefully there is no workman's comp people in here right now, because yes, that is me at the top of the pyramid.
Is that you up on the top?
Yes, ma'am. That's duties assigned elsewhere by the superintendent to keep the spirit going. So
risk management. I did not approve this.
So risk management. You did not see this photo, risk management, but we do celebrate, and so that is a yearly thing. Somehow.
Did they get a lift to put you up there?
I do need to lose weight.
So no, I did not say that through the chair, HR.
So we just need to have some strong athletic male, good strong forearms to get me up there. But yes, we do have a lot of school spirit across the board. Here's some of our accomplishments and strengths. This year we had 4 AP capstone diplomas awarded. That's a program that has just started here. They have to take an AP seminar and AP research class plus pass 4 tests to get that diploma. We awarded 5 AA degrees from St. John's River State College. So those are students that attended and got their high school diploma plus their AA degree, walked out of here. We had 78 ACE diplomas. They have to take a curriculum. They have to pass 7 tests. When they pass those 7 tests, they get this ACE diploma, and that gives them a 100% Bright Future scholarship. So that's a huge bonus for them. Our class of 2019 had 554 graduates. The National Merit 3 finalists, 8 merit. 65% of that graduating class earned an acceleration point. We gave over 1,276 AP exams with a 69.2 scoring, a 3+. That's higher than national average. 95% pass rate on our ACE exams with 350 students. We test all the way from 9th grade to 12th grade in that, and we earned 229 industry certifications this year. Wow. That class of 2019, the highest GPA was a 4.8. We actually had 6 kids at a higher than a 4.8 GPA this year. 52% of them are going off to a 4-year university, 30% going to a 2-year university. 6% going to the military. Graduation rates 97.6%, and 12% entering the workforce. We had estimated at $13 million in scholarships earned. And then I'm trying to get into under 5 minutes here. So this is what we are. Wait, that is not what? Wait. I know. Where was? Can he click on that screen? You should. Do I have to log in? Because I have. I mean, this worked. This worked for me. See, you're doing this on purpose because you complain about the sound system and the cafeteria. You've done this on purpose to me.
Do you remember 2 years ago when I had to do a presentation for, for all the principals there in the Principals Institute, and it did not work? Right. This is payback. Not intentional, but it feels good.
We got to take a 30-second break. Gosh darn it. I chose Nathan here.
No, you know. Yeah, me too.
There, it works right there.
Nathan, for anybody who didn't hear him, just said job security for IT on task on the spot to be able to assist.
Exactly what he said. All right, hurry up, please, so before I get.
Before you get red lighted, get a red light up there.
So, who's playing with this up here? All right. So this is a video that we made up for our school, and we're actually going to be doing some improvements on it over the summertime. But this is what we show. This is us. And yes, they do look like little ants. So that is us. We will be updating. We're going to add some graduation shots in there because that's the accumulation of all 4 years. Because when we show this kind of like to our 8th graders coming in, what they to expect at the high school and that. But we're going to do some upgrading. Actually, the lady right there with the camera, that's Regan Chadwell, who just earned one of the scholarships.
Hey.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry, Regan. I'm sorry, I didn't see, but she is very, very good. So she has a private business and stuff. So if you ever need camera people, look her up. So thank you for giving us. Do you have any questions or anything?
Our hats off to you. I'm glad we got to see that. That's really nice.
So you're welcome.
Very impressive.
So
Y'all are doing a great job.
And through the chair, thank you, Mr. Pittman. Really appreciate what you do every single day. Your team, Mr. Knight, Ms. Corella, Ms. Finley, Ms. Burke. Thank you for every day helping improve the experience for over 2,000 children, and great teaching taking place. So thank you for what you do.
Thank you.
Have a great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Kara need this.
Okay, I'll wait another minute. We just keep losing our audience. Okay. This is the last call for comment cards. If anybody wants to fill out a card and speak for 3 minutes, this is your last opportunity. Raise your hand if you want to fill out a card. Because I have no cards tonight.
Oh, you just jinxed it.
Okay, so there are no presentations from the audience. Adoption of consent agenda.
Madam Chair, before you move to the adoption of the, oh, I'm sorry, wrong thing. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Items pulled, C3 is it. I'll entertain a motion.
I'll move approval.
I'll second.
Have a motion by Ms. Kirikas, second by Ms. Gilhousen. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, say no. Motion carries 5-0. Did you, here we go. Okay. CCEA update, Renali Paiva. Hello, hello.
Gee, this is like the fastest meeting. Oh, look, Mr. Brodsky, the fastest meeting on record. I was going to, Renali Paiva, I'm president of the CCEA, and I was going to come up here tonight in the last school board meeting of the year that all the teachers are in, and I was going to say, oh, we have to talk about safe physical management. We have to talk about the school hours for next year. We have to talk about the rollback again that the state has done to us. And then I said, oh, I'm too tired. I can't talk about any of that stuff. So I'm going to just highlight things that are good.
Okay.
That we went through this year. CCA gives out a scholarship every year. We give a $1,000 scholarship to one of our members' children that attend one of our schools. And this year, we actually gave out our scholarship to Carrie Beth Leiheiser. I think that's how they say her name. Leiheiser, is that how they say her name? She's a wonderful, brilliant student out there at Keystone High School. So we're really proud. We gave her a $1,000 scholarship. She's going to the University of Florida. And her mom is Beth, and I believe she's head of the language arts department, I believe, out there at Keystone High School, and we're very proud. We've done Oakleaf, we've done Fleming Island, we've done Keystone in the 3 years since we instituted this scholarship. So we're very proud of doing that. Highlighting this year also was, again, First Book. Of course, that was our big event in the fall with Mr. Davis and the district also. That's 86,000 books we put in hands of kids in this county in 2 years. We're very pleased with that. CCA bought lunch for our runner-up for the Teacher of the Year, Ridgeview, our Ridgeview teacher, Jessica Moreland. Jessica Moreland, I forgot. I want to say Morehouse. I don't know why I got that in my head. I guess I was thinking about colleges. At Ridgeview, she does a great job, and we took the kids, and they went to the zoo, and the kids got a lunch, and we were very happy to do that.
Good.
Well, CCA also gives a $500 donation to Orange Park Junior High for hosting our meetings once a month. So we are very pleased to continue to do that at Orange Park Junior High. It actually has enough room for all of us. CCA also bought lunch for all our new teachers' orientations. So the 3 new teacher orientations this year, we were very happy to buy lunch and meet with the new teachers as they were just entering into our school system. We also partner with Ronald McDonald House, and I don't know how many people know that. We collect the toiletries, and you'll see them at all the schools have boxes, and we collect those toiletries. And we also buy lunches and dinners, and this year we're so busy that we didn't make. We make dinner for them out there, and if you've ever seen the Ronald McDonald House in Jacksonville, they do a fabulous job in a time when these teachers, when the parents are just so devastated. So that's what we did. We started those school year. Mr. Davis gave me an award, a champion of change, because him and I do lots of changes around here that I didn't want to leave. I'm going away for the summer, so you won't see me all summer. Yay, everybody. But before I left, because he gave me a champion of change, I wanted to give him, and the CCA wants to give him something. And we want you to barbecue all summer long. I hope you barbecue. And we have a nice little outfit for you to barbecue with. And it's a CCA, and it says CCA Education Well Done. And it has all the little things that you need to barbecue with your salt and pepper shaker.
Oh. Put it on, put it on.
Hey, we need a picture of that. Come on.
And are we all invited?
When Lee don't go, we need a picture.
That's for any hot topics.
Oh, dear.
Nice.
He's going to be the guardian program from now on.
Yeah, right.
Actually, I just saw that one of the biggest insurers in the state of Florida says that they will not be insuring any teachers that are armed in the state of Florida.
I did see that.
So that was really interesting. But I do wish you a wonderful summer, all of you, and I hope that Mr. Davis has you all before barbecue. He's got all the stuff.
He's got all the tools.
Ready. But have a great summer, and I'll see you in August. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. SASPA update. Teresa Dixon. Teresa, try to top that. Try to top that. It is. It's neat. You'll actually use that.
Okay, it seems like we've got a theme going on this this meeting. And I'm sorry I kind of missed the boat getting on the agenda for this. However, first of all, happy end of the year. I'm looking forward to a great summer, and I hope you all are as well. But I wanted to end it with a quick note. As an organization, SASPA, like CCEA and so many others that were here tonight, recognizes and encourages continuing education as a lifetime benefit for our students. And our SASPA organization, we do this in two ways. One thing that we do is we offer all of our members and their families the opportunity to gain an AA degree free of charge. So that's a benefit that's available to our members and their families. And another way that we do that is each year we attempt to give 1 or 2 scholarships to a graduating senior who is a member's child or grandchild. And so tonight we're going to be awarding these scholarships. And in order to do that, I'd like to ask Monica Pageant. Monica is a clerical worker at Bannerman Learning Center, and she is also a board of directors for SASPA, as well as the scholarship chairperson for SASPA. So the scholarship committee gets together. Applications are submitted with a short essay that's done, and it's really funny. The theme all around: how do you plan to make a difference in your community? And that's the theme of our essay that the students would write and then be selected for the scholarship. So our recipients, we have 2 recipients tonight, and I'd like Monica will be presenting them. Now, one of the young ladies, actually, she wasn't able to be here tonight, but we have one scholarship that's going to Haley Scheidslag. I hope I said that right, Haley Scheidslag, and she'll be getting a certificate as well as a $500 scholarship.
Wonderful.
And the other scholarship, and I'd like to ask her to come up because I know she's here tonight, and that's Megan Schurnell. And I'm sorry if I said it wrong. Please correct me. Haley Schurnell. And Haley is also receiving a certificate and a $500 scholarship from SASPA.
Wonderful. What school is she at?
Haley is from Clay High, am I correct? Yes, Clay High, graduating Clay High.
And the other one was from where?
Middleburg.
Middleburg. Very good. Teresa, why don't you get in the picture also? And congratulations. Oops, one more. Congratulations.
That's all I have for you. Have a happy summer.
Happy summer to you. Okay, for the moment we've been waiting for, the superintendent's update and presentations.
Through the chair, thank you. Ms. Pive, she, said something about the quickest meeting on record, but, my updates always exist. So tonight you'd be pleased because I'm going to extend my update to my Superintendent Student Advisory Council chair and vice chair to present all the hard work that we've done for the last calendar year. If you didn't know, beginning of the year, we launched a school council for students so that I can really keep my ear to the ground and get a different perspective for children and students for what's going on. And it was a rigorous applicational process where students had to apply and respond to a number of intense questions and then go through an interview and be selected. And it was, we did this from grades 7 to 12, and we selected 16 individuals to work with us daily. And these individuals really high functioning students that pushed me and pushed my staff to think differently about the experiences within our schools. We talked about dress code, we talked about electronics, we talked about food services, we talked about curriculum interaction between student and teacher, and so many different things. So it was my pleasure to be able to work with this cohort of students. We have a couple here which I acknowledge after this presentation, but the chair is a senior, Ms. Kara. She's going to FSU, is that right? Yes. She's going to Florida State. I try to get her to go to Florida, but Florida State. And they say that over 60,000 students apply for Florida State, around 6,000 get in. So it's such an accomplishment. And then we also have our vice chair, Mrs. Abigail Ferry, who does great work as well, and she'll take on the leadership roles next year. So all yours. Oh, you need the clicker?
Yes.
Okay.
We'll just do it this way.
Okay. Hello, I am Kara Toney, and this is Abigail Ferry. I am the chairman, and she is the vice chair. So I think we'll just go ahead and get right into it. So I'll let Abby go ahead and speak first.
All right, Mr. Davis kind of stole a little bit of our thunder on
Oh,
this
sorry.
one. We just wanted to go over what we mainly discussed this year, which the big three things were dress code, electronic policies, and then we also talked about food that we provide on campus. So with dress code, we ended up talking with some of the people that do write our dress code and asked them about certain things we could change over the year. The electronic use was more of, he was relaying that message for us. We didn't have a meeting specifically with them. And then with food, we also talked with the woman, I'm forgetting her name, Ms. Glover. Yes, ma'am. And we talked to her. There was a lot of talk about chicken nuggets. I remember that conversation.
And nachos.
A lot about nachos. She demanded that we have a nacho line at every high school. But we basically have been talking this entire year about room for improvement, as Mr. Davis calls it, and things we would like to see change in our school.
Are we allowed to ask a question? I have a question of Abby. So you talked about dress code and changes that you could make to it. Did your board come up with suggestions to give to Mr. Davis that he'll pass on to us for our code of conduct?
Yes, ma'am.
A lot.
A lot. Well, it's funny because that is one of the
quite
things.
a few. I mean, we do live in Florida, and it gets a little hot outside.
Right.
So that is something we definitely had a lot to talk about and a lot of input from even just ages from grade 7th to 12th, all with the same kind of concerns, just because it's kind of universal with us. Okay.
Well, and we do get emails about that, so
Oh,
it
yes,
is something
I'm
we've talked about, we need to address, so thank you for giving your input.
I will say that was the biggest discussion that people wanted to talk about was dress code.
Not
that
the
was
chicken
first-
nuggets?
not the chicken nuggets. It was more of the what can we wear, what can we do, and then like the electronic policies. It's just as students, we didn't really know as much, but once we got familiar with it, we realized, okay, yeah, this is in place, that makes more sense to us now. So, okay, I'll move on.
Good.
So we were also allowed to be really involved with our community. We were invited to go to the State of County Address, where we just talked about the county, talked about how we've improved, how we're getting better, and what we could do to get better. And then the State of Schools Address, where we were able to meet many people around the state and get involved in our community. And that's pretty much what we did. And it was an awesome time to be able to meet people so up high in the county or in the state that I had never thought I'd meet before. That was really interesting and cool to just see them and be personable with them. And we really enjoyed that. I think if I could speak for both of us. Okay.
All right. So I'm going to go over a few of our ideas for next year. Mainly what we want to do is be much more involved. As Kara just mentioned, we had a few events we did, but I would love to see us go out of our way and volunteer a bit more. Kara and I especially, we volunteer with Ronald McDonald House a lot. So we'd like to be able to get a group together, kind of do that. And we talked at our last meeting a bit about the topics we're going to discuss next year, working with the Teachers Council as well, and just kind of expanding what students have to say about the school they're having to go to the entire year. And that's basically just our plan, is to expand, hopefully get more meetings, more members, all those kinds of things.
Yeah. There was something I was going to say. I don't know. So I'm just going to say thank you. Thank you to Mr. Davis for allowing us to have this opportunity. Kids want their voice to be heard, and this was an opportunity for kids all over the county to be able to be heard and tell them that their voice matters. And I feel like that is such important in this day and age, with kids being young, kids being told their opinion doesn't really matter. This was so important, and I think it was such an honor to be able to be on this, to be heard, for my voice to be heard, for Abby's voice, for anybody. And it was an amazing experience. It was a humbling experience to also be able to talk to these kids and know that our voices would be heard. And I also wanted to say thank you for Clay County Schools. I've been involved in Clay County Schools for 14 years, and it has prepared me for my next stage in life. So yeah, thank you.
Thank y'all
Thank
so
you.
much.
If we'll take the time, if I call your name, if you're here, I know there's 16, this summer, school's out, so, not many people get a chance to come back to a function, but if I call your name, if you just please come to the center, we'll recognize you. Our chair, Kara Tony. Her mom is also a great teacher in our school district. Abigail Ferry, come on. We also have Michaela LaSauce. And then here as well, we have Jenna McHardy. So let's give them a round of applause for everything. And as we get going for next year, we try to open it up every year so we can build capacity of leaders within our schools. So we have 79 applicants thus far for next year, which is truly exciting for the work. In addition to this, the last thing I would say is that tonight you will see some identifications of assignments and reappointments on the consent agenda. And please know that as superintendent, these decisions are never easy to make. For me, it's my job to work with staff to identify what's working and what's not and what we can do better. And in this, I applaud everyone for their time and their energy and their efforts within our schools. But you will see there will be potentially changes moving forward that we share with the school board yesterday. In that process, as superintendent, I think it's really important to go out and meet individually with leaders, for leaders to come meet with me. And then that happened yesterday morning. I met with every leader individually that was going to be adjusted or changed within our school district. Those meetings happen from 9 to 9:30. And then during those meetings, I expressed my thanks for their hard work. And at the same time, asked them, a point where what's the best time for me to go meet with their staff. And Mr. Brasi was with me during those conversations to inform their staff of changes. So every outgoing principal gave me a designated time, and as superintendent, I took that time and made advantage because I had to go to 3 or 4 schools. And went to go and meet with every staff to talk about, my rationale as for movements. As superintendent, I want to make certain I made that decision to go out yesterday, and I have historically as a leader here in Clay County. I thought it's really important to go, to own the decision, meet with staff, to articulate the direction and decision that I've made and introduce the new leaders at particular schools. because I'd rather them to see that, hear that from me as superintendent versus seeing that on any document uploaded on the agenda. But please know, I think everyone involved in their service, everyone that we've identified will go into a placement within our county. That's the greatest celebration. And know that, once again, that the times that we had yesterday were given to me by the outgoing principal that we made known, and we showed up to address that. So thank everyone for their service, and look forward to a great 1920 school year. Thank you.
You're through?
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. Okay, next we'll move to the discussion agenda. D1, Fleming Island Junior High, K-8, school construction submit. Ms. Kirikas, you submitted this item.
I did, and before I move to take any action or anything, I wanted to just discuss with the board my thoughts on things, and then based on how the board feels about anything, we can decide if there's anything we want to do. So last month, Mr. Davis went around and met with the parents at Patterson Elementary about some redistricting. We know that Patterson's overcrowded and there's some capacity at some of the other elementary schools, and with the new growth coming in, it basically created havoc with the families and the students. And then Dr. Kemp, I'd like to say thank you to you and your staff and Mr. Fossa for the great presentation you gave us. And we're all aware that we've got almost $300 million in facility improvements in all of our 41 schools. We need, HVACs, we need roofs. The list was just unbelievable of everything that we need. We need to build new schools. And so I put this on so that, the purpose of this was to explore potential costs of building a new school and the potential funding source for new construction. And I know that, we've got a huge amount of growth coming. There's Governor's Park, there's, the whole list. I mean, I could pull out that, PowerPoint that Dr. Kemp gave us. And we're in dire straits in this district. We've got no new funding source coming in. The small percent that we do get of the sales tax through the county commission, we're losing that. Mr. Davis, do you know if anybody in our district has talked to them about a new MOU to continue with that? It was like a 0.08 that we were receiving. And I know that was approved in 2016, November of 2016, but I don't think it was brought to our attention at the time that the language, I believe, removes that 0.8 that we receive. And did they extend that sales tax for 20 or 30 more years?
So through the chair, I would say, Ms. Kirikas, right now we do have a staff member that's trying to have, or is having conversations about that. We know that it does sunset, I believe, in December 2019, and that is around $1.7 million that's provided to the school district, and we use that funding to upgrade enhance all the technology experiences for our children. This is the biggest push that we had when we were not wireless 2 years ago. We pushed to go wireless, and a lot of the work we do to make sure we have one-to-one devices in our schools. So I know that there's some conversations happening, and I think that there's a potential for that to continue under the mindset of, bless you, of working through the digital intelligence part of the work, because there's some work we want to do with some black fiber work, and we have the staff and the ability and skill set to do that, which will benefit the entire county.
Right.
So I think that there's some positive conversations going on that could potentially extend that, with that being the actual goal moving forward from a technology standpoint.
Well, and the county commission wants to use our wireless. Is that what you were talking about?
Well, I think that at the end of the day, when we are able to expand the wireless capability in particular areas, and I think that will allow us to help and assist many communities that are having hardships with the expansion of accessibility.
Right.
So that I think they do gain access to some of that work that we'll be able to implement with that funding.
Well, maybe in light of that, they'll work with us and continue this percentage of the sales tax that we receive.
But
Yes,
that's
ma'am.
technology money. That goes to technology.
We still need it.
Yeah, through the
I
chair.
mean, we're
I know
losing
it.
that. We're
I know
losing
it.
that
But I thought
1.7
you were
million.
talking about
Well, I am,
building
but that's
schools.
also, part of what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
All
It's all part of it. So, so back to the K-8 for Fleming Island, we've got that 42 acres, and I understand after talking to Dr. Kemp that we couldn't go out on a bond for that, or we couldn't. So the only way to pay for something like that is through a sales tax. And so at the agenda review last week, all 5 board members seemed to be in support of going out on a sales tax. And I talked to Mr. Bickner about House Bill 5, and he explained to me what the process would be and how we would go about that. If we were able to, if we were all in agreement to go forward with it at this point, if we went forward with it before December of 2019, when the new House Bill 5 goes into effect, we wouldn't have to hold out for a general election in order to do it. We could have it on a special election. And remember, if it passes, that still means it's almost a whole year before we start collecting any revenue. So, I'd like to ask the superintendent to, two things I'd like. The first one is maybe you could bring us back numbers on what that would generate, what a sales tax increase of a half cent would generate per year, and some type of marketing plan that we could look at. But what I'd like to do, if there's consensus for tonight, let me open up my other notes to make sure I'm not forgetting anything. I'd like, Mr. Bickner, could you explain House Bill 5 to the board so that they understand what I'm talking about?
Mostly. House Bill 5 makes certain changes to Florida Statute 212.055, which has to do with going out for any kind of a discretionary surtax. As it stands right now, you can call an election or set a special election and take something to the voters to pass a surtax. This particular House bill changes that effective January the 1st, 2020, such that if you're going to take a referendum to adopt or amend a local government discretionary sales tax, you have to do it at a general election. So if up until 2020, you can set your own election and move forward. After 2020, the only way that you can take this to the voters would be to wait for a general election every 2 years. So if you do it before December the 31st, you can do it. It's easy to do. If you don't do it until after December 31st, you have to wait till the general election. That's basically what it all boils down to. There are some other minor changes in the statute that have to do with providing information to the Office of Program Policy Analysis and Government Accountability. It extends the times before a general election that you have to do that. As it stands right now, it's 60 days that you have to do. And after the 20th, after January 2020, it's going to extend to 180 days, which is 6 months. So as it stands right now, if you did something before the end of December, you could probably fit in all of those time frames fairly easily because they're quick. If you wait till after December, you're going to have to do things at least 6 months ahead of the general election in order to get them done. So those are the major changes. There, like I said, there's some other small changes in there about who can and can't have petitions filled out, get signatures on petitions, how they can be licensed, how they have to apply, but that doesn't have anything to do with this. That's completely different.
Can we ask questions?
Sure. I may or may not have
The
the
next
answer.
general election would then be November 2020.
Correct.
It's not anything before that,
No
the August,
primary.
nothing, no primaries, just the general. And then the
That's-
next one after that would be November of 2022.
Yes.
Okay.
And I'm just bringing this to the board because at last week's agenda review, everybody said that, we're in favor and this is what we would need to do. And I don't know what everyone's timeline would be. Do you want to move forward quickly so that we can start, get this approved? Hopefully the voters, because it's the voters who decide, hopefully the voters would want to give more to education. And then we would be able to, make all these improvements that we so desperately need. So I'm bringing it to the board to see what your opinions are. And then if you all seem like you are in favor, then I have a motion that I would make and And if you're not, then we're going to be looking at redistricting and who knows what down the road.
I'm a little bit thrown off on this, because this item says Fleming Island Junior High K-8 school construction, and then I looked at
The backup.
backup on there, and there's nothing about a sales tax on there. I thought we were going to talk about the possibility of a
We
junior
are.
high school, but what is the
It says,
sales tax got
read the
to do
last
with the item
sentence.
on the agenda?
Mrs. Studdard, read the last sentence. It says, the purpose of this item is to explore potential cost and the potential funding source for new construction. A potential funding source could be a sales tax increase. It doesn't mean we have to move forward with this, but I certainly think in
But
light
why is
of last
Fleming
week,
Island Junior high school even in this?
because that's the only way we could pay for that. In order to build a junior high or a K-8, we can't bond it, we can't do COP. Because it doesn't fall, Dr. Kemp explained this, it doesn't fall under the, something about the capacity with the portables fall into, they're considered
Okay.
our, the Portable Reduction Act.
He said that
So,
didn't apply to the.
this, we don't show that there's reason through the state to build an elementary or a junior high.
we
So
couldn't
the
get
only
permission
reason
to
to
do
move,
it.
the way we could move forward would be funding like this. That doesn't mean that's what it would have to go to, but in light of what Dr. Kemp presented to us last week with the great need for all of the facility improvements, and we know the sales tax money could only go to,
Right.
improvements. So I'm bringing up the conversation. It doesn't, it's up to the board what the board wants to do, but I would like to hear anybody's feedback. And, am I the only one that's looking at the ceiling in the welding department at Orange Park High School literally falling apart?
Well, the sewage system at Keystone High School, the portable at Wilkinson Junior High, we can go on and on. The list
Keystone
is-
Junior Elementary needs a cafeteria.
I mean, the list is endless, really. And I know when Dr. Kemp, when I first came, before I actually was, came on the board, I met with Dr. Kemp, and he had a list, and that was just phenomenal. I mean, when we see these up here, what we see is our perfect schools.
Right.
But what we don't see are things like we're talking about that need to be done. And it's just like Duval County is going through the same thing, trying to refurbish schools. I mean, when I was talking to principal at Wilkinson Elementary, when she said Wilkinson was 30 years old, I about fell over. I remembered when they were building that school. So, I mean, it's just shocking to find out how old some of our schools are. And of course, Orange Park Elementary, Keystone Elementary sits on 8 acres. They have almost 900 students on 8 acres. I mean, it's just the list goes on, and Dr. Kemp has done a phenomenal job of expressing that. So it's definitely a concern to me. And a sales tax, the thing I like about a sales tax, it's whether you make $1 or $1 million. Everybody is buying things. And, as our schools are doing a wonderful job, more and more people are moving into Clay County. More and more people are shopping here. They're going to restaurants. They're doing all those things that a sales tax will, to pay into a sales tax.
Keep in mind, when it comes to funding, we're like number 12 from the bottom of 67 counties, Dr. Legucco. Are we like number 53? Yeah, so we're way at the bottom for the funding. So, I mean, like I said, it's up to the board. But, it's a conversation we have to have, and we can't keep kicking the can down the road. We need to look at it now, and so I figured I'll take the lead and see what you guys all want to do.
Okay, Ms. Gilhousen, Ms. Bowler, you haven't spoken, either one of y'all?
Well, I agree with you about the need in our district. I just don't, I don't like how this is on our agenda. I feel like it's a little bit misleading, because if we're gonna vote on a sales tax initiative, but it's agended as a Fleming Island Junior High K-8 school construction, then it looks like we're going out for a sales tax to fund this project.
Yeah.
And a sales tax, as you said, would benefit the entire county. So
Right.
I don't really want to vote on it with
Right.
this
Well,
agenda item.
And the motion that, and I'll just tell you how it would be worded. for tonight, because this would then come back next month for us to actually approve language, if we went forward with it, approve the language for the ballot language. So if we did go with it, we would move tonight that the school board directs the superintendent to take the necessary steps to move forward immediately with placing the half-cent sales tax on the ballot before the end of 2019. So it doesn't lock us into any specific day, sometime between now and then. It gives the superintendent time to meet with the supervisor of elections, find out, and there's a list of things that he needs to do, such as he needs to get a quote from the supervisor of elections as to what the cost would be. We need to conduct an audit that would be required by statute, posted within the 60 days. Probably create, superintendent had already mentioned that there were some individuals and companies that wanted to help pass the sales tax, so probably create a PAC to raise money for that. And then we would instruct the attorney to, again, bring a resolution with the ballot language. And so, that.
I just I'm not comfortable doing that under this agenda item. To me, that's something we can discuss and give our indication to the superintendent if that's something we want to explore, but I don't think we should vote on it with this.
Well, the way it's
item.
written, it doesn't look like it's an item for us to vote on. It's discussion item, and I don't see anywhere where it says to take action
It is,
on it.
and I'll read it to you.
Where? To vote on or
The
take
action item has no financial impact at this time. The financial impact of building a new school will be determined based upon the financial decision made by the school board. The purpose of this item is to explore potential cost and potential funding source. I put this on as an action item. I did not put this on as a discussion item.
Well, I'm just one board member, but I'm going to tell you, if we're going to consider going out for a sales tax, I want that to be on the agenda. I want people to know that that's what we're talking about. I took, and maybe it was just me, I took this that we were going to talk about Fleming Island.
As did
in
I.
which case I was going to say, hey, did you remember that presentation? We have got some huge needs. And listen, we have promised the people on Fleming Island.
So what do you propose
Since we
we do?
got that property, that we would put a school there, and now we're talking about, well, maybe eventually we can put a K-8 there to, we'll see about that. But looking at the things that we saw the other day in our meeting, I think that some serious we got to really figure out the time frame on these things. But I would be more comfortable myself, and the majority rules, I would be more comfortable if we bring something back on the 27th meeting agenda that actually describes what we are going to be voting on. Right now, I feel like this is kind of coming in the side.
So let me ask.
I don't know how to say it, but
I understand what you're
we all
saying.
know
I
that we
understand what you're
need a
saying.
funding source. I mean, how many million? $280 million worth of things that need to be done. We need a sales tax, and thank God we're not in Duval County where the town council. I mean, thank goodness we're here.
Is everybody in agreement to bring it back on the 27th?
I will not be at the meeting on the 27th, but I have indicated an interest in the sales tax. My concern, I agree with Ms. Studdard
I
in that.
understand what you're saying.
May I?
Sorry.
There are a couple of things, actually, that I agree with what Ms. Studdard was saying is about the Fleming Island Junior High, because we have an incredible need for 5 schools.
Right.
That Mr. Foster brought forth to us, Dr. Kemp did in that presentation at our workshop. And I've been on the board for 3 years. I never made a promise that there would be a school in Fleming Island
We
on
never
that
could
property.
make the promise. We
And
just have the
that's the
land.
point.
We
We've
have the
never
land.
made the promise. And we've been very cautious about saying what we can do, where we can do it, and we do have to follow the state mandates. My other concern in this is the advertising, because when we we just passed a millage. I agree with the half-cent sales tax. We will be taxing, the people who will be paying for this are people who are just driving through our county as well. It's a sales tax. So it's not just one group of people, it's everyone. And we need to be extremely careful. You had mentioned, Ms. Karakis, about the marketing of this particular
Right.
vote, and that is critical. I do not want the wrong information to go out saying, oh, they're going to tax us more, they want to take our money more for whatever reason. There is a need. And anybody who would like to walk into a school would be able to see, I don't care what school you're in,
That's
you would
true.
see a need for a variety of different things. And the more marketing, the more opportunities that we have to educate the citizens of our county, I think the better opportunities then we would have in having this pass without any hesitation. But it is a decision by the citizens to pass this. I know that there is support for this throughout the community. I have heard it from business leaders. I have heard it from a variety of different sources. But here again, the timing is critical. The needs for the new schools are there, but the needs for the existing schools are just as strong.
Absolutely.
So
We have such great needs, and it's just gotten out of hand. Okay, Ms. Gilhousen, yours.
Based on what you just said, I think another important thing to talk about is the need for security on our campuses and how so many of our buildings were built before Columbine happened.
Yeah.
And before we had to really think about, an active shooter on your campus. So I think the need is grave. It's not just once. And I think that needs to be communicated. And I think it also needs to be communicated the cost of providing those safety measures to our campuses. I mean, I think as a mom, when I walk my elementary student out to a portable, how I feel versus walking them into a classroom that's part of the permanent structure. So the need is grave. So I think that needs to be communicated. I hesitate on a special election because of the amount of time. I mean, we're talking 6 months between now and December, and I don't know that that's adequate when it comes to really pushing out the information to the community about what the needs are and what the money would be spent on. So I think that's something to consider. Obviously, we need information from the supervisor of elections as what he's even able to do in a 6-month span. So I think there's a lot to consider here. I think at the very least, we need to table this item to a later meeting.
We need to know if you're talking about, are you referring to a special election? So we need to know the cost on that. We need to know I don't know about y'all, but I need some time to think about this thing.
Well,
And
don't
really
take
have
too
a
much
chance to
because-
talk to Dr. Kemp, and he has shown us the $280 million of needs. We've got the paperwork on that, but I want some time to think about it.
Another facet of this is with the changes that the legislature has made over the past year, we've seen other counties proceed with half-cent sales tax, with millage increases, and do a lot of the similar sorts of things that we're looking at right now.
Right.
And I think it would be helpful to get some input, some information, if we could, from some of those counties, other counties, particularly in our neighboring counties, but also that are similar in size to us, that are similar in perhaps not the geographic location, but the basic demographic of what Clay County is. And to determine and to see exactly what they're doing in their areas as well. Because there's so many differences in each of these counties, as you were mentioning Duval, but even in St. John's.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at impact fees from some of the, St. John's impact fees are huge.
Yeah.
And they have a need for almost 5 schools a year, but it sounds like. It's like, that's a whole nother area that we haven't even touched on, which I don't know that we would, but that's another revenue source. I'm just throwing out ideas. I'm just saying
And
there are a lot of things to think about.
Yeah.
It's a first
from the
step.
from the five of us here, the one thing I think that has come out of this is everybody knows we need a sales tax. That is the only, really our only way to get any money. We don't have a choice.
And
But we've
remind
gotta-
people that it's for the infrastructure
Right.
of the
Sales
buildings.
tax cannot be used
not
for salaries,
people.
because they're gonna say,
Yes.
oh, they're gonna give themselves a raise or
Yeah,
something.
no.
No,
feel like
this cannot be used for anything except for on the capital side.
And I think what sets this apart compared to the millage that we went out for last
Right.
year is that if you look at Dr. Kemp's projection of need, it's a line by line item
right.
of exactly what that money would be spent on. So
Exactly.
it's accounted for every red cent that we would collect. And I think that that's why I feel like we need more time to get that message and that information out to the public. And honestly, I think the reception of the public would be better at a general election versus a special election, just for the sheer, kind of like you suggested with this agenda item, it almost feels like it came in from the side. I don't want this whole thing to feel that way. I want the public to know that we're being upfront and exactly what we're asking for and exactly why we need it. And again, it's a need, not a want. And I think that it's imperative that we explain how the millage will be spent and how the capital money would be spent, what the differences between the two, and why it's necessary.
I think we need to remember last year when we went out for a millage, I want to say it was May when we approved it, and it was on the August ballot. So we did it in 4 months, and the community was behind us. The community voted to, fund public education. And I really, truly believe that time is of the essence. If we don't act before December, then we have to wait a whole nother year or then 2 years thereafter. And I mean, if that's what the board chooses to do, by all means, that's what we'll do. But we need to act. We need to be proactive. I just keep thinking of the ceiling at Orange Park High School literally falling down while I was in there touring it. And I know that's just one example of the many, many things. I mean, Dr. Kemp named, how many video cameras in addition to the many we've got and all the school safety issues that we need.
So that money can come out
There's
of the
so
millage,
much that we need that I feel like if we sit here and explore and explore and explore, we're going to miss our window of opportunity to move forward with it by the end of this year.
And I
That's how I feel
understand
about
that,
it.
Ms. Carey, 'cause I
And
think
we could very well instruct the superintendent tonight to bring back some numbers and still go ahead and put something on the June 27th agenda if we'd like to. And we could even ask Dr. Kemp to give that presentation that he gave to us at a workshop at the next meeting we have, and maybe throw in some of those pictures so that people really see that, there's a couple of really nice new schools, but the majority of them have great need.
Yeah.
So,
well, then do y'all want to have something placed? Ms. Bowler, I hate that you're not going to be here, but the July meeting will be on June 27th, but you have already told us that you've made plans long before now. Would you object if we put this on the agenda in July? And I don't know what the wording should be.
Mr.
but
Bickner can
Mr. Bittner
take
can
care
help
of
with
that.
the wording,
Right.
but I want it to be more of what we're talking about, the sales tax.
And we've been
Not
talking for months about the needs and our facilities. So
Well-
I think the community, like Ms. Gilhousen said, or maybe it was Ms. Bowler who said that the community, I believe, from what I'm hearing, they are behind us.
Yeah.
They understand that, there's such grave needs.
Right.
They get that.
And I am so grateful, as y'all are, to the community for supporting our millage.
Absolutely.
But, Dr. Kemp wanted us to do the sales tax first time I laid eyes on him. But I think now, with us setting up the police department and trying to get all that done, we've kind of gotten off the sales tax
Right,
mode in our
right.
mind. We had a lot on our plate trying to get that set up, but now I think it is time to go back and address this sales tax issue.
agree.
But I want to have, this might be something where we have to have more listen and learns, or
We
chit and
certainly
chat, or
do.
whatever
We
you call
certainly
it.
do.
But I think to educate the public and get the buy-in from the public, before we jump off and say, we're doing this, now let me tell you why. I think we ought to kind of try to sell it a little bit first and put our foot in the water to see how the public
I agree.
takes it,
Mhm.
and then come back and take official action. I mean, this is all like, tonight, I'm just not ready to do it tonight, but I support, doing a sales tax, but we need to do it in the
Well,
right
What
time.
do you propose for listen and learns? I mean, the timeline between now and the next meeting, is that what you're thinking?
I think the problem with that is
It's
school's
summertime.
out, right?
Exactly.
So to have people come to the school buildings,
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
August.
So, I don't know how you do it in the summertime.
That's
and we're too busy.
again why I think it's better if we wait. And I realize the risk with the general election, but I think that honestly,
Well,
if
there-
we're
But even if we did a primary,
You can't
it's
do a
after
primary.
January 1st, we'd have to do it at the general.
After January, it's the general, and so it's November of 2020, then November 2022, November 2024.
What's the cost of a special election?
Dr. Kemp said it's about 180,000. Mhm.
And my
So-
understanding of the sales tax is that it's different than ad valorem because you collect it immediately after it's passed. You don't wait.
How long does it, it's quarterly, Dr. Legaco? Sales tax quarterly?
I
that
thought
you
I read in the
receive it?
paper for Duval that they would be getting the money like right away if
That's
they,
what I
in
understood
the
as well.
paper. I don't know the law. Do you know,
Well,
Mr.
People
Bittner,
have to
the
spend in
law?
order to get it.
I didn't look at the law on that. I know that it does say in 212.055 subsection 6D that sales tax revenues are collected by the Florida Department of Revenue and distributed in accordance with law, but I haven't looked to see what in
Yeah.
accordance with law means.
Well, we don't expect you to know everything in that whole.
Well, why don't I go ahead and put it on the next agenda, and Dr. Kemp, if it's okay, Mr. Davis, have Dr. Kemp do that presentation and show the community the great need that's
Okay.
there. And we can take a vote and see what the board wants to do
Okay.
at that point. It sounds like everybody's interested, in it. We're just not sure about the
The
timeline.
timing, and I just, Mr. Davis has always said, we got to be transparent. I want us to be as transparent as we can be about this, because you don't know and I know they'll get on Facebook and they'll accuse us of pulling backdoor, behind the scenes deals, and I want us to be open and above board
it's
and
not like we
just
haven't
put it
talked
out
about
there.
this,
And
though.
then Facebook, those little naysayers can just find something else to fuss about.
Madam Chair, may I
Yes.
make an observation?
Okay.
When you're talking about transparency, the statute that governs putting the school capital outlay surtax on the ballot, the resolution that's required has to lay out in detail what you're going to spend the money on.
Okay.
It specifically says resolution shall set forth a plan for the use of the surtax proceeds for fixed capital expenditures or fixed capital cost associated with construction.
Okay.
And it goes on to say that it has to be in good detail.
So would that be like our educational facilities plan that we would need to attach to
Well,
that, or?
the last time that we went out for sales tax was probably 10 or 12 years ago.
It's been a while.
And they actually, on the resolution, I had listed projects that were in a broad sense what the projects were, but some of them were very specific. Now, the problem with that was people got upset about the specifics.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of the things that they brought up was we're going to use part of this money to put shaded playgrounds at the elementary schools. Now,
Oh,
if you've been out to
they
Doctor's Inlet,
nitpicked it to
you
death.
know they've got a huge shaded, well, that's part of that. The feedback from that was, why are we buying shade? You know, plant a tree. And so you have to be careful about what you put out there because as you've said, and Ms. Bola, as you've said, people are going to respond to whatever it is they think that you're trying to build.
Oh,
And, you know, talking about the building falling down is one thing, talking about building shade for students in, you know, the
I think
summertime
we
is
actually
different.
put signs out at each school
Every
and
school.
said what was going to be built at that school. It was a fiasco.
I would point
But
out it
I'm
failed.
thinking maybe with Dr. Kemp's $280 million, if we could somehow, why couldn't we use that document? It's got $280 million worth of things that need to be done.
I would have to look and see if it needs more detail, or if that's too detailed, or
But
how it's
then-
going to work out. I don't
Then
know.
it sounds like you would be obligated to spend every dollar like you said you would. So then,
That's
if it
exactly
came to
right.
building a school, you wouldn't be able to use that money for that.
Well, that's true.
That's exactly correct.
Well,
You have to
I
spend
tell you
it by
what,
the resolution.
I think we've got the discussion going. There is an interest, and
That's
so
why I wonder if our educational facilities plan would be what we could use, because
Well, I
that
don't know.
encompasses new builds.
And this is things that I think Mr. Davis, Dr.
Mhm.
Kemp, Mr. Bickner, whoever else wants to jump in, can kind of try to come up with a plan, and Ms. Karikas is going to put an item on the agenda, so y'all figure it out and bring it the end of June, and maybe y'all can all figure out how the best way to go about this would be and make us a suggestion. Is that good? That works for me. Okay. Yeah. And it's probably good that you brought it up, because time's a wasting,
So-
but I wanted to give people a little time to kind of relax and rest after the millage. I mean, you don't want to just keep going back and begging and
Probably
begging
should
and
have done them
begging,
both at
but
the same
now it
time.
is needed so
Like other
desperately.
districts did.
We don't have a choice. We've got to do something.
Mr. Bickner, at this point, if we're going to put something on the agenda for next month, and I guess we would have to put the actual language on not next month, but the next meeting, because then we wouldn't be meeting until August. So as just through general consensus, can we, or should we be directing the superintendent to be doing anything in preparation for that?
Well, I was gonna ask that question, is exactly what it is you want to do. If you want to have resolutions with options built into them to come back at that meeting in late June, or do you not want to go that far? That's if you don't pass a resolution in June, since you don't have a July meeting, the next time it would come up would be in August. You've got a 60-day window in there that you have to do certain things.
Yeah.
And that puts you into September to begin that, if you're going to make
So
it
we
by
need to
then.
do that. We need to put
So-
that on the June 27th agenda.
I would need some direction. I think that the superintendent needs direction, and Dr. Kemp needs direction on which way we're going to go and what documentation we need to create.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, ma'am, sorry, through the chair. So I want to make certain that the ask is correct. So the directive to me is to identify the amount that an additional sales tax would bring to the school district per year. Identify the number of years that would be extended, which is the board's decision, so we could look at, I don't even know if it's a 15, 20, whatever it may be. Identify a marketing plan and timeline to educate the community prior to December 19 as requested. Identify the overall cost for a special election, which means I'll have to get with the supervisor of elections. Identify the overall timeline required by the supervisor of elections to host a special election, if that's even an option. Identify Northeast Florida surrounding counties that have somewhat similar demographics to identify the success they've had with any potential sales tax. Identify their plan of action, their successes, and areas of opportunity.
Is there anything else we can add to his list?
I wrote all that down, so I'm
And
just
you
trying
thought
to
you were
figure
gonna
out
get the rest, huh?
what else
Y'all
then
think of
do we
anything
need?
else that needs to be?
Well, I just have one concern, because we talked about wanting to have town hall type meetings prior to the board voting on it. So if we're voting on it in,
We won't have time for
We're not going to be able to do that with
we
the
could do it
school being, I'd
afterwards.
forgotten about summertime and schools out. I don't know, but
But that, we can do that in the fall.
in the
I was
prior to
going to
them
say
voting on it,
Right.
we can do it once
That
we
could
get our people back.
That could be
And
part of
once
the
we
marketing
understand
plan.
what
But
the
I think
date
that's
is for the
important.
actual, if we do a
So
special
are you looking at
election,
doing it
if that's decided,
in a
then we
special
can-
November,
election?
December, yeah,
get-
so that we,
have some of the listen and
Yeah,
learns
we'd
during
have to
that time.
do some kind of information meetings. I would feel very good about doing that, and I think if we can do this, I'd be willing to spend however many nights we need to go, and I know y'all would, because we need to do this the correct way.
I agree.
Okay, all right. So
All
we're
right,
good
well,
to
thank
go.
you.
You-
All right,
I
so
think you
you've
got
got your instructions. I'll get with
You
you and,
got your instructions. Yes, Mother.
and Dr. Kemp and Mr. Bickner about the correct language for next
Okay.
for the 27th, and I'll put that on for the 27th.
Okay.
Thank
Now,
you.
on this item, this D1, what do you,
We don't need to take action.
just,
We don't even need to table it because we're not talking about just the
Okay.
Fleming Island
So-
K-8. We're talking about all the schools.
Mr.
And
Bickner,
all the growth.
what do we do if we're just not going to take any action at all on this? Just ignore it?
You've discussed it, I think that's sufficient.
Okay.
I think that you've given direction to me, you've given direction to Dr. Kemp, and also
Okay.
to the
So
superintendent.
we're not taking any action on this?
No action.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, ladies.
Human Resources, there are no special actions. Personnel consent agenda pulled by Ms. Caracas. Actually, yeah, it was pulled, but then it didn't get changed again. Okay.
It didn't need to be changed.
But I mean, when we approved the personnel consent agenda, it was pulled on that, so we got to vote on it.
Yeah, we approved the consent agenda. This has been removed from it. And the reason I pulled it due to the fact that this vote involves a family member, and out of an abundance of caution and in the interest of transparency, I will be abstaining from this vote and filing the appropriate form, which I have filled out here, and I will give to Ms. Bush.
Okay. So I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion by Ms. Bullock, a second by Ms. Bullock. Any discussion? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed say no. Motion carries 4-0 with Ms. Caracas dissenting. Abstaining. I'm looking for the word. You didn't dissent, you abstain. Okay. School board attorney remarks. Well, goodness, we're all
I have
here.
one. We need to set a hearing, and I've discussed this with Mr. Brodsky. I've also discussed it with our attorneys that handled the hearing at DOA. The Andrews case, which involves 7 teachers, all with best and brightest, came back from DOA with recommendations to pay 2 and not pay 5. And the exceptions have now been filed from both sides objecting to the order. The final arbiter, the final say-so comes from this board, and so it needs to be set before the board, and it's handled like a court appeal. The public is not allowed to have any input because it is a quasi-judicial proceeding, and that would be announced at the meeting. It would probably take about 2.5 to 3 hours. The process is I will supply you with a complete copy of the transcript of the record, which you can study at your leisure. It'll come together, and the attorneys for each side will make their presentation and their pitch. They'll be confined to arguing what's already been argued before DOA. And then after all of that is done, it will come back to the 5 of you to make a decision as to how to parse that out, what to do. There are going to be about 3 dozen options that you can follow. And if you just look at the sheer numbers, what I would do is walk you through it and provide you with a what's basically a verdict form. You would go through that verdict form and you would decide by vote on each one of those things and come to a conclusion. And I need a time, and so that's why I'm here before you to see if we can do it in July, right after the week of the 4th, somewhere in that time frame. It's going to need to, like I said, it's going to take about 2.5 hours. We'll have to advertise it like a regular meeting, but it'll be nothing but a hearing.
I will be out of town the week after the 4th.
Okay.
On the 23rd, we have that special board meeting.
23rd
We
of
also
June.
got to review the tentative budget at 10 that day.
And so we're probably doing is it an agenda review at 9, the
Right.
budget at 10?
Right.
Would everybody want to maybe break for lunch and come back at like 1 o'clock or something? Yeah. Does that work?
Just on the 23rd?
That would be the 23rd, you know?
1 o'clock or what?
Whatever you guys, I'm just throwing something out there.
23rd of what month are we?
July.
July? Okay.
Is that good for everybody?
Where will we be in this building?
I think we probably have to be
Could
here
we
for
say
this hearing.
1:30? Could we please say 1:30?
1:30?
Okay, that way we won't have. to
Mr.
miss meeting.
Bickner, would we be in this room for that hearing?
That would be the easiest thing.
Okay, at the
1:30
TTC.
hearing
Mr. Broski, I assume you're available.
and TTC.
And you said to expect it to be 2 to 3 hours, is that correct?
I think it would be between 2 and 3 hours.
But if we come at 1:30, we'll just
And
be
here,
here.
did we say here?
Yes, in this room?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Okay, 1:30 hearing. And Ms. Bush, you can add that to the list you sent to us today. I appreciated that list because
I do
it's
too.
getting,
Thank
it's
you.
getting crazy trying to keep up with all these budget meetings. Okay. Anything else, Mr. Bickner?
I think that's all. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. School board member remarks. Let's start on the end with Ms. Gilhousen.
Yay, it's summer.
Yay.
That's all I
Sounds
have to
good.
say.
Okay, very good.
Congratulations to all the graduates.
Okay, Ms. Bola?
You sure you want to go with me next?
If you go, we won't have
I've
to
got a
say
few
anything.
things.
Go for it.
But I started the year off by saying thank you. And I think we need to end the year off by saying thank you again for everything, for starting a new police force, for good nachos, by the way, great nachos. Enjoy going to the schools and eating in the cafeterias. It's, it's good stuff. Special thanks to Lake Asbury Junior High for their concert. United Sound is a phenomenal program where they have regular band students or the normal band students teaching students who have disabilities to play. And wow, talk about pride. Special thanks to Swimming Penn Elementary for the tour of the Montessori classrooms. Very impressive and amazing. I hadn't been in a Montessori classroom in a long time, and it was a very cool opportunity. Neighborsville Theater at Shadowlawn, I got my thank you note. Just want to make certain that you are aware that I got my thank you note, and I greatly appreciate it from all of the actors there. Special thanks to those who put on Concert on the Green and bring the talent of our musicians out, the talent of our artists out. It was a great new area, new venue here in Fleming Island, and it was a phenomenal evening again. Fun at Lakeside Elementary for the 360 and standing next to Jackson DeVille. It was very exciting. Graduations and graduations and graduations, along with all of the we went to a certification award ceremony at Lake Asbury Junior High, and I got to attend one yesterday at Oakleaf Junior High, and it's always just so impressive to see what our CTE program's doing, our business program's doing, all of those certifications that are truly following those children throughout their lifetime. And just thank you to everyone for the opportunities, teachers, staff, everybody who works for our school district, and all that you do for our children. And a special thanks to our children, because they really knocked it out of the park this year. Meeting some of the students that we did, one of the goals that I've talked about in being in this position was to get to every school every year that I'm on the board. I know I didn't do it this year, and I've got my list of schools that I need to start off with in the fall next year to get into those schools and really and see what's going on and learn again what's going on. Can't thank everyone enough for everything that they do, because it really, truly makes our job very incredibly worthwhile. I will not be here at the meeting next month. I will be at the workshop to learn what's going on at the meeting, so I can also have a chance to review what we'll be bringing to the meeting and hearing some of the backup information. Reason being, family reunions, multiple family reunions. As we all know, family always comes first. So thank you so much.
Okay, Ms. Bullock.
I do. First, I'm going to showcase Enoch Nadler, who was a 2004 Keystone Heights High School graduate. He came in 22nd in the Boston Marathon out of 30,000 runners.
Good grief.
Yeah, and he is planning to be in the 2020 Olympics. So,
Man.
also a shout out, one of the schools I went to was Keystone, class of 178. They garnered $2.3 million in scholarships for that 178 students.
That's great.
I'll tell you, chicken nuggets, that's right, a few. We had 36 students, a shout out to all the students who have their AA degree before they actually get their high school diploma, 36 in the county, and Keystone had 16 of those. 9% of their 178 students had their AA degree. Yeah, so that's great. And then I'll finish up with teacher appreciation for teachers and 600 muffins delivered and baked for schools in District 3, but wishing all the best. I'm not sure I was awake. Proms, graduation, banquets, drama plays, awards, oh my. As I travel up and down the road seeing students succeed, it's easy to know why. Class of 2019, I wish you the best, and remember, graduating in clay makes you a cut above the rest. You're here.
Well, you guys are tough acts to follow. Mrs. Bulla has mentioned everything that anybody has gone to. And Mrs. Bullock's home baking muffins. She's trying to make the rest of us look bad. She baked muffins for 3 days for teacher appreciation. And then she goes to the prom. Like, wow. No telling what you're going to do for Keystone next. And Keystone's really lucky to have you. So good job, Tina. I can only imagine how many miles you put on your car. It's been a busy month, and it's been a great month, and the best part of it is seeing all those smiling faces of all our kids. And so just thank you for, sharing your children and your students with us. As Mrs. Bola said, there were quite a few graduations we all went to. We had our biggest graduating class for Bannerman Learning Center this year that I've ever gone to. There were 48 or 55 students here. We barely fit in the room. Next year, we're going to probably have to do it in the cafeteria. We had CVA's graduation was great. Orange Park High. I mean, there were just so many. We went to Pay School for Girls graduation, which was really nice. It's 15 girls that graduated that, as their words, not mine. They didn't know that they would ever graduate. They didn't think they would make it. And so they were really impressive young women. And I wish them all the best. I wish all our graduates all the best. And it was a busy month with family nights and school plays. So Grove Park Elementary did The Little Mermaid, and I don't know the young man's name who played Sebastian, but he was the cutest kid. He was really funny. But I just wish everybody a safe summer, and I'd like to give a shout out for our own Jim Connell. Jim Connell is over in France.
He jumped out of an airplane.
He jumped out of an airplane on his birthday to recognize the 75th anniversary of D-Day. And I saw photos of him. His wife is there, his daughter Marissa, I think his other daughter too. But happy birthday and congratulations to Jim Connell, and just be safe. And I know that he is retiring also, so we are going to miss him. Anyway, that's all I have. Thank you. And Miss Paiva, have a safe summer.
Yes, for your safe trip.
Okay, before I get into everywhere I've been the last 3 weeks. Okay, we got information from FSBA, Florida School Board Association, that we need to identify who will serve as the board's representative on the 2019-2020 FSBA Legislative Committee and who will serve as the alternate. It was not voted on last year, just decided by consensus. So last year, the representative was Mary Bola and the alternate Janice Karakas. So I want to know who wants to be the rep and who wants to be the alternate. All right, Ms. Karakas and Ms. Bola, do y'all still want to do it?
I'd be happy to continue.
And I would too. It doesn't matter to me.
Which one of you wants to be the rep? Which one's the alternate?
Are you enjoying being the rep?
I enjoy the,
Okay.
yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
that's it.
Yes.
That's done. Ms. Bush?
I'm out
Ms.
there
Bola is
anyway,
the
so if you
rep,
can't
and
make it,
Ms.
I'll be there.
Karakas is the alternate, so we'll remain just as we've been. Y'all didn't We had to talk fast. Get
Unless
that
you
one.
want to arm wrestle for it, Miss Kirikas.
Okay.
Not necessarily.
And listen, between that digital information technology thing, the FFA, the coaches awards, the hedges and highways that filled up the cafeteria to recognize students, the history festival, they did a fantastic job in the old quad there at Green Cove. Hats off to Kelly Watt and Christy Gomez. Right, it was wonderful. And then we had the construction trade, did y'all say that? Banquet, the family fun at Lakeside, Arts in the Village at Argyle. There's been so many things. I don't think I have been home for 3 weeks. I think my husband's had one home-cooked meal, period. So,
I have one more thing to add. Are you done? Can I add
no,
something?
I'm not done.
Okay. Go right
But
ahead.
go ahead, because I want you to say it, because I'm going to be the last on this one.
Oh, mine is actually back to our sales tax thing.
Oh.
It just occurred to me, Mr. Bickner, are we supposed to instruct the superintendent to start the audit process? No, okay,
The
thank you.
audit process. Okay. I do want to say to Lieutenant Mills and Lieutenant Romano, you were officially on our agenda tonight. And we are delighted to have y'all. So I just wanted you to know you're official now. We've approved everything. Okay. And I understand, today they started training?
Through the chair, yes, ma'am. Today, in less than 3 months, 3 months, this task, and people, really doubted we can get this done. I am glad to sit here in front of the board today and let you know that the staff has worked tremendously hard. We're thankful for each of the, Chief Wagner, Lieutenant Mills, Lieutenant Romano, and then Dr. Kemp as well. And we work every single day with HR to try to make this happen. And today was the day we launched 47 resource officers for training that will be extensive over the next couple months to stand this up in August. So hard work to get done.
Thank you. We are absolutely thrilled. Is that what you want? You're through. Okay. I have one last thing. I think I went to 5 different graduations. Virtual School, Bannerman, Middleburg, Grove Park, and Pace. I am graduated out. But in my travels to all the graduation things, I came across something that I want to share with the audience. And would you please show... Anybody know who that is?
Who is that?
I couldn't believe it.
You know how long it takes to grow something like that? Yeah,
I was going to say
that is like
6 months or so. Was that 6 months?
That took
That's
like
his
through the
high
chair.
school graduation.
You don't even have any cheek hair on that.
That was like 8
know?
months in the making right there.
8
You
months.
understand?
There you go.
Back in the 90s when it was really cool. That's it. Just for that, through the chair, I will grow that back. I am so sorry in advance.
All those are
Please,
You
don't
may
do
get a
that.
all
head
those
bar.
not in favor. I looked at that
Nostra
and I
Piva,
thought,
this is not your time anymore.
hey, Rena Lee, I'll send it
See
to
that on
you.
a
I've
mail.
got it
We'll
on
see
my
that on a
phone.
mail out.
I've got it on my phone, Rena Lee. Y'all, it was so good. And his wife and his mother told me that it would be funny if I shared it. So I have permission. But y'all, I didn't even know who it was at first. I
No.
looked at that. I mean, it doesn't even...
No.
Growing it back.
How much did
He's
you
great
weigh?
a little bit, I
How
think.
much did you weigh then?
Yeah.
I weighed about
Yeah.
195, 200 pounds
Yeah.
Good grief.
of pure muscle.
Anyway, but
I'm surprised there's not.
Ask me that again. I'll give you the same answer.
There's not a caption that says most likely to grow a mustache.
I don't know. I used to wear those.
I just wanted to share this with all of the people. And so
You
with
know.
that, I will adjourn the meeting.
IT, what's going on back there? I don't even know about who's back there. That.